Okay, this is a bit of a thank you video that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, and I've been building up my own series of trays with bits and pieces in them. And of course, time is everything. When you're trying to find something, sometimes you can do it for hours. Now, and this was my collection to some degree. When I say this is my collection, let me put a little bit of focus on what my collection means. Like all these audio I see, some of them from me from way back, and that's why this is a bit of a thank you video. 2SE 2166s here. A lot of those came from Bob's at VK7RX, which was just really, we've used so many of those. The fear is that I'll come using loads of them. 1969s, we've actually some of those came out of Wes, etc. But what I wanted to say was that a lot of the PLL and all the 2SE range, 2SB range, all the stuff you see going through there came from a mate of mine doing a bit of digging around an old CB repair shop, and a great guy, Bill, that owned it up there. And Ed's been sort of slowly but surely helping me to build our stock of spares here. He did a deal with, Ed did a deal with Bill for about $500 for what was a load of components. Like, it was really, really good. And I don't mean good, like price is always relative, of course. We all have limits on what we can pay for things. But where, this was superb was a lot of what you're looking at that's been sort of labelled here. Some of them are very, very hard to get now. There's some bits on there that you won't find just anywhere. Now, I'm in my little cubby hole here. This is this little area that I built. And to give you an idea, this you people that have been to my house before, there's, the light front door area. So basically, as you take off down to the Radio Shack and through the music room here, there's a little side door. I built this for a reason, just to put a few bits and pieces in. And look, it's nowhere big enough to handle my parts area. Sam keeps on filling up these cupboards with rubbish. What have we got here? Fly spray. Oh, Morning Fresh, Fusion. Oh, this is all our hair products in here. Sam's a wholesaler, so of course she buys it. Anyway, but I'm sure you're not interested in, but all that stuff's going to go because I want to have this all accessible. I might even, I don't know if I'll take the doors off this yet, but it would be nice, wouldn't it, to be able to have your racks all sitting in here. All gone, we'll see. Sam might not want the doors off. But so a big thanks to Ed up in Queensland, because, you really helped us out. Some of the stuff over here is just my own. We've always kept a good stock of various plugs and sockets and bits just to make sure that we're able to, so not have to make a trip to the shop every time. They're 4s. They'll be probably 5s, are they? 5 pins, yep. Etc, etc. So pretty much all our plugs and sockets areas are here, so we can pretty much go and grab something when we need it. But this is the surprising bit, and this is the big thank you to Russell Wood, because what is in these trays is invaluable, and probably to some people it may not be, but to me, absolutely invaluable. A lot of these green caps that are, just down here, a lot of these green caps and capacitors that are in here, and these HV caps, these are for your FL series amps, etc. And some go in the high power stages of the FTDX 400s and etc, etc. A lot of very common green caps, etc. And you might say, well, they're no big deal, but I'll tell you what is. Yes, you could buy these from JCar, but how nice to be able to go to a drawer and just go, look at that, and by the part numbers on them, when you run them through the net, you can actually work out exactly which radio they went into. Now, they're all just 12-volt bulbs, but various ones had different part numbers. Now, loads and loads of fuses, more bulbs, just goes on, very handy. And these are all been Yaesu ordered. Every one of these has got a Yaesu part number, whether it's a smaller one, etc, etc. Whether you've got globes, physical globes, which they used in the early days. You'll see more of those in a minute. They got quite a lot, as I'm having trouble putting it back in. Anyway, once again, do you remember when they used all these? with the green, I need to get down to little green LEDs, green globes there. Remember the covers that went over them, etc.? Yeah. There was just so much that went into the 60s and 70s that, we've got stock of here. And once again, some old world globes that go into some of the old chassis, etc., etc. More globes there. Once again, now these are more common. They would have bought just from a common provider, but these went into a lot of different radios, just these mag-like globes. There's a bit of a run through some old Zephyr products and bits and pieces. Have a look at this now. There's something you wouldn't find every day. These are the grub screws, and they're saying it's for a, what does that say? Can't really read that, to be honest. Doesn't ring a bell. But these grub screws, as you know, they're used on millions of our radios that we use for the knobs and bits, etc., etc. But as you go through, now we're down to a lot of these connectors that Yaesu used. So they obviously, these would have been bits that were on their, it's a bit tight. These would have been bits that were on their list of need to be replaced from time to time. Now this is a cap for an FT101E, a little trimmer for an FT101E. And most of the stuff that we've got here, here we go, parts for the 12 meter WARC mod for the FT107 in one bag. This is why I'm so grateful to Russell. Might have to pull that one out to pull this one out. Things are getting a bit tight in there. Okay, because there's paperwork in there, and we like paperwork. We just like to know what it's for. So let's find out. Let's have a look here. And in here, while I'm opening that up, there's a few more connectors and bits. And this might give us some insight. What does this say? Okay, so diagram, just having a look what they do with it. Alterations shown in red. Well, that might be a bit hard with this one. I'm not sure for what radio. Unfortunately, that one I'll keep aside, and we'll have a look at that at some stage. But as you can see, more more connectors and bits and pieces. Now I know I promised you guys a long time ago that I'd go through a bit more of the Bale Yaesu stuff, and it's been horrendously busy of late. So this is why we're. And I just thought of this when I was coming in here to find a part. I need a capacitor. Well, there you go. Now there's something you won't see every day. That's actually for an Electrophone 470 UHF set. And keeping in mind, Bale did do work for various people. Once again, whole of resistors and bits, bagged, ready to go. High quality for sure. See, now once again, here we go. Look at this. FT70, and it even tells you what radios that they were used for commonly, FT707s. Now, you see, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of guides in this in these trays that sort of, they've marked things so well. It makes my job so much easier. And once again, a lot of resistors and bits that just make life so easy, because these guys, what they've bought in stock, these are the common bits that went wrong on anything that was made by Yaesu between 1960 and about 1990. It's just huge. Once again, a few more caps and bits and pieces. And believe me, we haven't got anywhere near where the money is yet. These are just very common, nice bits to be able to say you can just go and get. Now, I won't bother here because I know this is all just resistors through here, screws here, but it does get a bit interesting as you go through here. These are a whole lot of TA series ICs, and from the label on the front you can actually see what they are. And there's some SREs and quite a bit. Instead of opening all this up, although I just want to open them up. Sometimes you'll find something on them, that's even more than what's in there. But a lot of these UPD series and SN series, some of them, 7400, pretty common. That's not really a big issue, but we do use them. Some of the old decade counters and bits. You've got a lot of TA series, so some of them are mixers. You've got a 7205, which is obviously audio IC, 7130 mixer. Boy, there's just so much there. I really want to just pull this all out. I've actually found when I pull them out, sometimes I find things that are not, supposed to be there, but are on top, which is great. Little things are very handy. But geez, I tell you. So basically, as we go down, these are all the MC series. Now they've kept all the MC series. It's all very much alphabetical order. So they ran a very good workshop, as you can see. It's I won't go into exactly everything there. Just trying to give you a bit of a look just to see what is there. But of course, we get excited when we see things anywhere where we see MRF, and MRF 433s. Now these back in the day were $27 each retail to the customer. Can you imagine nowadays? I mean, it's just not $27 anymore, unfortunately. Oh, unless you buy China, but they don't work very well. So I'm just looking through to see the last look here, because somewhere I found a whole lot of MRF stuff. I might have taken that into my shack actually. I found a whole lot of very, very nice MRF bits and pieces. All right. Now, I'm just going to move some things over here because we're just running out of room. So up here, we found a lot of more bits and pieces, which a lot of them, as you get inside, you'll see have their references to their radios, etc. Some of this here, I might just move some stuff around, but just some nice trays of resistors that are all in there, all in order. It makes life a lot easier. Now, stocks like this of all 0.01s, etc., very handy. Just stuff that, you've got to go out and get otherwise. Now, have a look at these fuse holders, how old these are. They're brand new. Jeez. Unbelievable. That's quite something. It really is. And, look at this one down the back here. Bearing in mind, some of the stock, as I said, this goes back to the 60s and 70s. And it's all brand new. Bale had some extremely good stock of stuff that just, we're just never going to see. And I keep saying to people, and I keep promising you, we're going to show you a lot more. There's the little bloody things that go on the side of 990s, for all your TCXO adjustments, etc. Well, that's the little plugs that go there. I mean, you'll never get those new anymore. That's just never. That's crazy. There's a tray of LEDs, and you won't see these types of trays very much anymore. I've got some things to show you. Look at these. Some of these are just, and look how the lamp Lily put 30 volts, 60 volts, 20 mil, etc. And of course these went in specific radios and specific spots. Well, I'm having trouble with one hand, but hang on. No, that's okay. It's just sort of fairly average sort of rubbish. Not rubbish, never rubbish. So we should never use the word rubbish. Okay, so what have we got in this lot? This is good. This is very good. This is FETs. It's a whole lot of 2SD range, 3SK range, 2SK range, sorry. Let's have a look down here. There's a load of FETs in there. There really is. And I'm just going to take... Now, these have a little catch on them. Quite nifty, isn't it? Like, locks into place. There's a little bit more than FETs here. We've got displays. $3 each for these entire displays. I'd have to check which radio. Maybe there's faintly written on there. Oh, geez, can't really read it. Often I've got to go Google the part numbers, and that's how I've been finding out what these bits are. Now, what have we got here? Oh, Triacs. Whole lot of Triacs. Jeez. Once again, Yaesu. And then we've got... I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a little rectifier. I reckon it's a little rectifier, but I'm not sure what they use those in. Oh, you can see on there. There you go. They go AC in on the two middle pins and DC out. So that's a little rectifier, but interesting how it mounts in like that. So have to do a bit of chasing to find out what radio that goes into. Here we go. 3SK97. CMOS device. Beware of static. Handle with care. Don't handle them at all. Now, this is a workshop. Bale Agencies. It's and by the way, there was some talk about whether to call them bail agencies or not to call them. Look, you are theoretically right. There were two names. I'm just used to calling them bail agencies, but that's okay. Just boy, there's just more and more as I'm going through. You just keep finding things, and this video will go for hours if I keep doing it this way. Right, need to stop being like that. Stop opening it all. But you're just having a bit of a look through there, and you can see there's so much stuff that once you start googling some of this, you'll find out. My God, these are all used in Yaesus. Now, back in the day, they had some really smart ideas. They had these trays. Now, have a look at how they're done. Basically, if you needed a resistor, you went in and you went, okay, obviously if they were all full, but they're not too bad. But you just went through and grabbed your resistor, and you sort of knew that your low values were up the top of this lot here, and they just changed as you went down. And as you can see, there's a different breed of larger, 1 watt resistors there, and some, and half watts in another. But all these were kits that were very handy for the repair shop. A lot more detail than what you could ever get these days. I mean, this is 1960s, 1970s with all this sort of printing that's been done on there, and it's staggering. But I know that I've gone to it a number of times now, and look at this. Connectors, terminals, 16, all in there. Screws for different radios. Just unreal. I could go into what each one of these is for, but I'd be guessing a bit. In the bottom one, if I can get it out. Sorry. Oh boy. All right, so we've just got some 2C transistors by the looks of it. But yeah. So then we're on to. I mean, keep in mind this is only some of the stuff we're talking about. There is more, but let's go down the bottom here. Once again, whole lot of 2SB, 2SC. Once again, same thing over here. Whoops. Can I get a focus on here? My LED lighting's not working like it should, is it? But yes, lots and lots of 2SC, 2SA, etc. Bits and pieces. Very, very handy. And diodes. Look, all these diodes here, labeled, ready to go. This is how to buy a workshop, without having to do all the hard work. I know that I've been coming out to it, quite a bit lately. What knob is it talking about here? I thought I was going to get lucky there. And bear in mind, whilst most of these are pretty full, there is the odd set where I think that they just gave up and weren't bothering anymore. Although that one's not one to give up on. Look at these brand new power output modules, 57704H, and I reckon that'll be the same, is it? Yeah. So, once again, you'd Google what that sorts out for. And then once again, some semiconductor devices, just more and more bits and pieces. But look, going through this, it's been a whole lot of fun. We haven't really been through this tray yet, but there's loads more of what we're talking about. But this video is to say thank you. Thank you to Russell. Russell Wood, you're a champion because you've really helped us restore a lot more radios. Ed, something Ed sent down to us too. I've got my own box of little selectors and bits from Ross, from Strictly Ham. So all this here came from Ross. And that was pretty much donated to me too, because he's just too nice a guy. There's a whole lot of stuff he just said. We were doing a bit of a deal, and he said, no, you got to take all this too. Get this out of here. And of course he was being funny, because, this is really desirable stuff that all the switches and bits that we put into radios and you name it. So my mate Ed up in Queensland sent me down a little care package, and we've been able to use a lot of these switches, as you can tell. And look at the wrapping he's done with them. These are all Uniden switches, Cybernet switches, and don't laugh, but we've got radios, excuse me, that they all go into. Often we're changing 18s over to 40, which is just a great thing to do, make it a little bit more useful. Anyway, thanks Ed for those. They're just brilliant. Now, something else I want to show you, I just got to grab actually. And this is a big thank you to Russell Wood. This is a box of crystals, yeah, as you can see. Right, so that's a 41.4875 crystal from memory. From memory, 41.4875 was used in a FT707, possibly even a 101ZD. And correct me on the page if I'm wrong, but I think that's a 10A crystal. Actually, we might even be able to see on the crystal. Let's have a look. I don't know. They might have 10A written on them. What's on the top? What I'm scared of is it could also be the crystal that was used for 27 megs. I don't think bail agencies would have had that. Hang on, let's have a look here. No, I would need to get out that plastic bag. I'm so curious. Hang on. Okay, this is a bad bag. I haven't had to take it out the bag. Something just clicked with me. I went, hang on, 41.4875. No. I think it was 42.4875 was 28.5. So what does that make 41.4875? These are 27 meg crystals for FT707s and 101s. I'm just trying to see if there's any markings on there. I was going to take them out, but then it clicked to me that no, I know what these are. Now, and the other giveaway is that they've been cut. They've been cut by HiQ. So it just shows that even back in the day, and we're talking a long time ago, that people did buy these. Does that say? Hang on. I know we're trying to get through the plastic here. Oh, that says 27. I'm right. Oh boy, this video is going way over time. Okay, so they're 27 meg crystals. All right, let's talk about something else. FT7 27.5 to 28. Oh, great, guys. You're going to get me in bloody trouble. I'm trying to stay out of trouble. This is bail agencies way back in the day. Look, hang on. Let's get to some stuff that's not. Oh, there we go. FT7 35.5 meg crystals, 15 meter crystals. So excess of 15 meter crystals for FT101s. Sorry, FT7s. FT102 crystals. 8.12159. 8.2159, sorry. And once again, at least it's listed what it's for. FT101 crystal. Look, the point of this bag was not to find 27 meg crystals. Trust me on that. Now here's a problem. Okay, so we've got loads of displays. Loads. We've been selling them all around the world. And the number of people that give me a thank you because we've supplied them an FT290 or 690 or 790 display. And I appreciate that, and thanks very much because you guys are helping me to fund what we're doing too. Because we try to, but we did have some that were blacked out or this already sort of gone, even though they're brand new. Age has got the better of them. Oh, I don't know what else we got. A bit worried about this video time. It's going a bit overboard. I'm sure I've lost most of you. 10.245. Geez, these are all handheld bits. Oh, a Yaesu badge, one piece. What's it? Let's have a look. Look at that. Where would you get that brand new these days? Come on, guys. Come on, be real. That's if you had one missing on your radio. Absolutely. Coil springs, more crystals. Geez, loads of crystals. Hopefully we've kept a few of you online for this just by the fact that you don't know what's going to come up next. So that's a 15 meter crystal for an FT101Z. More 10.245, so that's just for channel spacing. So we've got bits of information for placards. So, little bits there that... sorry, I'm flashing some of these by a bit too fast. So that one, 21 point... Okay. Some of them we'll have to look up, and we'll have to go through and find out, what they suit. But a lot of them, like, look at that. 126.575 for the FT708. So that's an old radio, old crystal for it. 101. Look, just goes on and on and on. What does this say? Window glass. Should say glass, not window glass. Window glass. Doesn't say what for. So we've been checking the part number and generally finding out what they are. And it's amazing when you Google the part numbers how much you find out. So anyway, this is a huge box of crystals with things in it that are just worth a fortune. Some of the old kilohertz and megahertz badges off the radios. This was just a godsend. We've used already quite a bit out of this. You'd be amazed what we've been able to restore, and that was the whole reason we wanted this lot to be able to restore some stuff, and we just came away with, as you can see, a lot more. Even these old fellas, brand new. What frequency is that one? Let's have a look. 1,000 kilohertz. There you go. Jeez. Anyway, you get the idea. So, look, standoffs for the 101Zs. And this is for the AM board standoffs, yep. See, and that's it. Their labelling helps us so much. Now, what's that off? There you go. Oh, try and get that to focus. Someone can comment. I'm trying to think. That meter's a bit of a dead giveaway. I should know that. This is just all the plastic of it, though. This is not the meter movement. Just don't be fooled, because the meter movement's not there. But, oh goodness. All right, well, I've got to finish this video up, because otherwise you're all going to go crazy at me. 40 meter crystals, FT707. Oh, I'll go on forever. Okay, so I'll try and do a few more videos very soon of more and more of these boxes. My problem is I have literally hundreds more little pockets and boxes and things to go through yet to be able to give you a fair look at what there is. This is just some stuff that I decided, sorry, it's better I dropped some crystals on the ground, some FT7 I thought. The ones I picked up were the 42 meg, 27.5 to 28 meg crystals. Now, Fred Bale and Graham Stallard, who was actually the South Australian one over there, you know, sort of, I'm sure back in the day there was a demand for this. Now, let me just mention at the moment, people like myself who are, you know, sort of restoring and doing stuff like this, this is definitely, I'm going to put this back in this bag. This is definitely the last thing you'd want to be doing, is getting caught by ACMA putting 27 meg crystals into a ham radio. Trust me, guys, just trust me on this. Don't do it. Okay, just a quick look at displays. A lot of octal plugs that, you know, Yaesu do use. Oh boy, more displays. As you can see, we're goodness. But this is just a touch of what are the, you know, there's loads more. All right, well, as you can see from this mess, and it is a mess. Trust me, it's going to be less of a mess soon, but it is a big mess at the moment. If you've stuck with me for 27 minutes, nearly 28, thank you very much. I reckon the view rate on this video is going to be pretty low because no one will make it to the end, and I don't blame you. But hopefully, if you've got to the end, you can understand we could have gone for another hour just going through more stuff. We will do it in shorter segments. We won't make them 28-minute videos. We'll do them in shorter lots. But anyway, thanks, guys, for... and when I say thanks, guys, I mean thanks to the guys that have made this all possible. Ed, he did a fantastic job. Wrong box over here. Did a fantastic job of this. Russell Wood, fantastic, mate. Look, thank you. And as you know, there's so many more boxes out in the shed that you and I packed together. And just so you know, Russell's in Merimbula in New South Wales. I went for a great trip over there through Kosciuszko and over to him, and stayed the night in a motel that I loved. I had great pizza, then came home. All right. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated for hanging in there. If you did, if you didn't, I will not be offended. And hopefully we'll get this little cubby hole sorted out very, very soon. 73s from VK3, Charlie Mike, over here in Tangambalanga, Northeast Victoria.